Hi guys, and welcome to 5-Star Interview with an Industry Professional. On this show, we have Eddie from Pioneer Electronics. We're going to interview him and have him tell us all about what it means to be an industry professional. So stay tuned. Hey Eddie, thanks for joining us today on the first of the 5-Star interviews. The whole idea behind this was to let our viewers learn a little bit about what it takes to be something other than, let's say, an installer like me or a salesman like Paul or the people that you meet in the stores. You know, somebody that does the back end side of things, the unsung heroes of the industry. So why don't we start with something simple? Just tell these people, viewers, who you are and what you do.
I'm the Pioneer District Sales Manager for the state of Florida. My job is to represent Pioneer in the state of Florida and visit dealers and get them to buy our products, basically.
You actually work for Pioneer, which is unique because there's not many companies that actually do that, where they have employed guys that go out and represent the company.
Right.
Can you explain the difference between that?
So I'm a factory rep. I work straight for Pioneer Electronics, not a rep firm, not a distributor. So the idea behind it is that, you know, it's only one line that we're going out to pitch to our dealers, as opposed to focusing on all these different product lines or different brands, I should say. So my focus is solely on Pioneer. My job as a district sales manager is to sell throughout the state of Florida. As an example, that's my territory.
So Florida's, how many districts does Pioneer have?
So all together we have 13 districts that take up the entire country.
I'm sure our viewers out there want to know, is it pay well?
It pays well.
Yeah?
It pays well. And I also have a company car, which is a nice perk.
What, do you have a stereo in the company car? Do they give you or provide for you or tell you need to put a stereo in the car?
It's not mandatory, but of course I have to have a nice stereo in my car because I grew up in this business.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to have, and I never could settle for the factory system. It would never satisfy.
So what did you put in your car?
So in my current car, which is a 2016 Toyota Camry, I put a full-blown Pioneer system with Pioneer components in the front, Pioneer components in the rear, navigation flagship model in the dash, AVIC 8200 NEX, with a single 12-inch subwoofer and a 5-channel amplifier.
How did you get into this? Why 12 volt, I should say?
When I was out of high school, I went to a technical school for a couple years just because I had a lot of interest in computer, repairs. Of course, I'm not doing that now, as most people.
Thank God you're not. Computers are disposable.
Right, now I just throw them away.
Yeah.
So then from that point forward, I got a job in a car audio shop, just like yours.
Okay.
Worked there for 5 years.
Is the place still around?
The place is still around. The name still exists. Sounds Good Stereo.
Different owners?
Different owners, and they've
Okay.
moved locations, but the name still exists.
You got your job in the 12 volt world. How did it lead to where you are now?
Just like I'm walking into your store, I had a rep come into my store from Pioneer. And from time to time, they would come in, just like I do.
Okay.
Talk about products, talk about features, and then I said, hey, how do I get a job like yours? I want a job like yours. I don't want to work behind the counter anymore. I want to be on your side of the counter.
Fair enough.
That's how I got my foot in the door. And there actually, at some point, that person left the company and recommended me.
Really?
And then I was able to get my foot in the door as a product specialist with Pioneer, which entailed basically training the dealers at the time. Only, I didn't do any sales, so as a product specialist, your sole job is to train all the dealers on new products as they come out and detail the stores, and then visit the stores and talk to the salespeople and the installers and see if they have any questions about the product. Make sure you educate everybody on features, and that was my job for the first year of my career at Pioneer.
Well, you said for the first year you were a detailer.
Right.
What happened?
Well, there was an opportunity to move up into a sales position, and I jumped on it. And here I am today.
We briefly touched on the fact that you went to a technical school, and it really didn't prepare you for where you are today.
Right.
Has Pioneer helped in any way, given you any extra education, we'll say?
Yeah, so Pioneer is very strong on training. So we fly out twice a year out to California, where our headquarters are at.
Okay.
And we'll review new product introduction and really dig in deep into feature content, so we can come back with that knowledge to our dealers.
Any other training?
MECP training I had when I was originally a product specialist, and it's not a requirement as a salesman, but it was really preparing me to be a product specialist and learn more of the electrical what's going on in the dash.
How important is it to have a good personality in what you do?
I think it's very important because, at least for me, I really depend on the relationship I build with you and the other dealers throughout the state. So having a positive personality, giving input back to the dealer what they could be doing right and wrong to help them, because you're seeing a whole picture throughout the state of all these different dealers, so you get ideas. I believe the personality is key, because
And I would agree with that.
I'm coming in and asking you for an order, so I don't,
Please, sir, might I have your money? Have you always just worked for Pioneer, or have you worked for somebody else other than Pioneer?
So other than Pioneer, I worked for Sirius before they merged with XM.
Okay.
So I was a district sales manager as well, just with a larger territory. So the whole eastern United States was my territory, and my job was to represent Sirius and make sure those tuners get activated.
Tell me what a typical day in the life of Eddy is. I mean, you work from your house.
I work out of my house, so I have a home office because our corporate offices are in California.
Yeah.
So we're all remote employees. Typical day is I'm on the road.
Okay.
I'm not doing administrative work. I like to spend time on the road, really finding out what's happening out there in the field, the everyday, day-to-day business.
Out of a month, how many days do you travel? Or are you out on the road?
On the road, I would probably say half the time. So let's say 2 weeks out of the month.
2 weeks out of the month?
I'm traveling.
Okay, that's a fair amount.
Yeah, it's a fair amount, and again, my territory consists of all of Florida. So it's the furthest point north is 5.5 hours away to Jacksonville. So I spend a lot of time in the car, but a lot of time face to face with my dealers, just see what's going on. I go in there, and obviously, aside from asking them how they are and how's everything going, is really asking them about the business and how you're seeing the business and what are customers asking for. And then my job is really to look at their inventory, see what's selling, see what promotions we have in order to sell in more product.
What do you do in your office, though, when you're at home? What is a day in the office?
In the office is doing, and what I mean administrative work, which is basically taking care of returns, credits, payments for customers, and doing that kind of paperwork, if you want to call it. And of course, I spend the day on the phone. If there's customers that I can't reach out to, there's a program that comes out, specials, we send them out, and then we follow up with a phone call.
It's a full 9 to 5 or 9 to 5:30 or 6.
9 to 5:30 a.m. the next day. Now, you can put in a lot of hours. A lot of people have a misconception that if you work out of your house, it's easy peasy, right? You can go take a nap. It's not like that. There's a lot of, you're working sometimes until midnight, if not more.
In all that time that you've been doing this, what's the one product that really, you were like, wow, that's the product.
That's a game changer.
That's the game changer, as they say.
Yeah. I recall a model, and you may or may not, this is before your time, but it was called the AVIC N1. And the reason we called it AVIC N1 because it was the first in-dash 7-inch flip out that had navigation built in without any kind of adapters or extra boxes, all built in to the chassis of the radio.
I've put those in.
So that really, wow, this is it here. This is a game changer. The first company, or one of the first companies to have in-dash navigation I think we were the first to have it all in one.
Just like what was cool in the past, what was a turning point for the industry, like the navigation all in one, like you said, what do you feel is now? Like, where is this ship going? Where do you feel, what's doing it for you now, big boy?
Yeah. So even though it's not brand new, but the whole connectivity is very important to us and to the industry. So and what I mean by connectivity, being able to connect to your smartphone, right?
Yes.
Your smartphone is with you wherever you go. So So naturally your smartphone is something you want to be able to connect and interact with, because you got your music, you got your contacts, you got your addresses, everything is all in your phone.
Right.
So being able to connect your phone to a device that it interacts with in a safe way is really where we're at today as far as.
So it sounds like you're beating around the bush from just saying Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are probably
I'm saying connectivity because it's not Android Auto and CarPlay are obviously the buzzwords, and this is where we're going, but it all started with Bluetooth, and connecting Bluetooth. So CarPlay and Android Auto are definitely, I guess, is where I should have segued into, but Yeah, this is an important feature for our industry.
Let me ask you this. I remember distinctly. I was in a meeting with some Alpine corporate guys, and it was with my former employer, and we're sitting in the meeting. And tell me if you experienced something like this, where they were talking about Bluetooth, and I just remember him and I both looking at him and going, "What is Bluetooth?" Did you have a moment like that where you were like, "How come I feel like I'm the only guy in the room that has no idea what this color and teeth?"
Right. What does it have anything to do with technology or
no idea
connectivity? What is this?
Yeah, I mean, who knew that was gonna? I mean, if you would have told me back then how much that was gonna steer the ship, I'd have looked at you and said, "It's the dumbest name I've ever heard of."
Who came up with this name?
What are you talking about? So I'm not alone in that we both. Okay,
that
good.
was definitely a shock.
Yeah, because I was like,
blue what?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much for all that very helpful information. I hope you guys out there enjoyed that. We're gonna wrap this up real quick with what I like to call the 5 questions. Okay. Real simple 5 questions. We're gonna have a little bit of fun with it. What's your favorite flavor ice cream?
Probably what is it? Chocolate chip cookie dough.
Okay. Pizza, tacos, or hamburgers?
Pizza for sure.
Pizza. All right. Favorite movie?
Back to the Future.
1, 2, or 3?
All 3.
Okay. Box set. Favorite music? Artist, genre?
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
What kind of rock and roll though? We're talking 80s, 90s?
80s.
80s rock?
Van Halen.
Okay. All right. God, we're old. If you could have any car you wanted, price is not an object, and your wife would not kill you, what would you get?
That's a good question. Definitely have to be a supercar.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's a gimme. I mean,
Lamborghini.
You go for the Lamborghini.
I'll go for the Lamborghini.
No Bugatti?
No Bugatti.
You're
save some money.
You're gonna settle for the Lamborghini. All right. What color?
Red. Candy apple red.
Ooh. You sure you don't want a Ferrari then? I mean, although I did see a red Lambo the other day and it was sexy. Sexy beast. All right, Eddie, thank you very much.
Thanks, Dean.
This was great. I hope you guys out there found these very helpful, or at least mildly helpful. If you do have any more questions that you would like us to ask somebody like Eddie, go ahead and leave them in the comments. Let us know what you thought. This was the first one of these we've done. Obviously, we want to do more. Any inspiration that you guys could give us, or if there's any information you'd like to know about Eddie and what he does that we might not have asked, go ahead and ask it, and I can always ask him and reply back to you. And with that, Fernando, where can they find us?
You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
And if you guys would like to get with us personally, you could see us Facebook Live Mondays, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Check it out. We go on for about an hour, talk about our week and things that we do. Otherwise, we're going to let you go. You guys have a great night, and we will see you later next time.
Bye.
Bye. Where are you going? Come back. Come back. All right, Eddie, thank you very much.
I want to change my mind.
What?
My favorite movie is actually Brokeback Mountain.
Okay. I just
remember, it's
hand.
a love story.
And I just touched his hand. Okay. We can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that.
You are. It's funny.
Oh, sit back down. Come on, we can't do that.